That will make sense in the movie. Grammy and Pappy have got some splaining to do in the Japanese psychological thriller Best Wishes to All that is coming to Shudder. A young woman visits her grandparents on a break from university. While there, she discovers a dark secret about them and potentially herself. So this feature-length film is based on the short film of the same name, and there are some alternate names that you might find this movie under, like Best Regards to All. But either way, the film invites us into an uneasy home where Grandma and Grandpa are a little off their rocker. Now, I was getting heavy The Visit vibes from this, even though the two films, they don't share anything in common other than a grandkid going to visit their grands. You know a story is going to be a bit unsettling when you watch some quiet and odd older people ask their grandkid if she's happy now, but then sit waiting for a response with a crooked and off-putting half smile. I mean, I was instantly weirded out and then made more uncomfortable by the sudden change in mood to full happy smiling and joy. Now, like I mentioned in this synopsis, the story follows a young woman who travels to stay with her grandparents for a little while. But when she's there, she begins to notice some quirky behaviors in her grandparents. And then strange occurrences within the house. Now, the older generation has a peculiar focus on happiness and joy, creating strange vibes within the dynamics of their home. Now, as the days go on, the young woman witnesses things that set her, and then our, teeth on edge, which also begin to make her question her own grasp on reality. Now, the movie does an excellent job of creating an environment that looks warm and inviting, but is rife with apprehension and unease. While we watch, we can pick up on the visual, even audible clues that inform us something's just a bit off. But as the story moves along, our own hold on what's true, it starts to come into question. I mean, is our main character a reliable narrator? I mean, we see what she sees, but as things get more intense and wonky, are these bizarre happenings actually occurring, or have we all bought into some collective delusion? I mean, this works to create a pretty disquieting vibe, where we have this nagging feeling that things are about to get much worse, but we're not sure exactly why. Now, I love how the ideas of both gaslighting and perceived happiness are interwoven into the story. Our main character is led to believe some things, which, when repeated by multiple people, can have an influential effect. But also included in this messaging and then visual reinforcement is the idea of how we derive our perceived happiness. And this is where the story gets extremely dark. It just plunges us into psyches that are unhealthy, exploitative, and most likely delusional. And I don't think the plot execution lands at every spot, especially because some of the elements just feel thrust on us suddenly and without explanation. There are several items in the final act, though, that are jolting, as they're meant to be, but then they also are inadequately examined and just simply included more for shock value than anything else. Now, something that lends a big assist to the growing unease of the story is the odd humor that's sprinkled throughout. These aren't jokes or slapstick, they're just bizarre looks or mannerisms that made me chuckle amidst the dark themes. Now, one in particular, it is completely unexpected and then suggestive, which makes it even more uncomfortably funny. And all of these brief moments, they work to enhance the dread rather than break the tension, which isn't something that every film can accomplish. Now, even though this is just under 90 minutes, the pacing is more patient, with large portions of the narrative lacking dialogue or even a lot of movement. We get the forlorn or concerned looks from characters combined with pensive moments as they just move towards that something foreboding or ominous. And while it does create more of a creep factor, it also feels slow in a lot of spots. I think because the ending dives into something batcrap crazy, it makes the slower areas worth it. But there were times the story felt more like a slog to get through than I had preferred. So overall, Best Wishes to All excels at demonstrating the lengths people are willing to go to achieve happiness and joy, but also fumbles the execution by creating ambiguity and confusion within the finale. The chills and apprehension are effectively built through a wonderful cadence of disquieting mannerisms, cryptic dialogue, and off-kilter humor, with the patient storytelling providing a mix of foreshadowing and slowness. This is unsettling and creepy thanks to extremely dark themes, and can be a story that haunts if you get past some of the forced story elements. There's no sex, maybe a tiny bit of nudity, some profanity, and then a bunch of violence. I give Best Wishes to All 3.5 out of 5 couches. So have you seen any good non-English psychological thrillers lately? I would love to hear some recommendations in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.